The dollar is facing a revolt. The world knows it as the king of currencies, but the dominance of the dollar is now under threat. More and more countries are looking for alternatives, and China's yuan is emerging as a clear challenger. Beijing is pursuing a string of deals. The latest one is with Brazil. Brazil and China are ditching the dollar. From now on, they'll use their own currencies for trade. So China is pushing the yuan. What about the Indian rupee? It's not far behind. The Indian rupee is also emerging as a serious contender. And why are these trends significant? Because currencies drive commerce. The dollar's dominance gives the US an outsized influence on the global economy, and a shift away from the dollar will only hurt America.
The president of Kenya tells citizens to get rid of US dollars. Kenya's President William Ruto is advising citizens and investors to let go of their US dollar holdings as its value is decreasing rapidly due to global factors such as the Russia-Ukraine war.
For the people who work numbers, I am giving you free advice that those of you who are holding dollars, you surely might go into losses. You better do what you must do, because this market is going to be different in a couple of weeks. And secondly, we, through the central bank, we are having conversations to reinstate the interbank exchange market that has since not worked. And I am happy that the players in that sector, including our banks, are coming forward and they are participating, and they are working with the central bank so that we can again take charge of our market and that it is not allowed to be distorted.
Could the Brics countries, which includes Russia, India and 3 others, launch a single currency like the EU's euro? Are Middle Eastern foes, Saudi Arabia and Iran, starting to take baby steps towards restoration of ties? We'll answer all this and more in today's episode. First up, the Brics countries. As you know, the Brics countries comprise Brazil, Russia, India, China and South Africa and represent the largest developing economies. This grouping was formed in 2009, but its dynamic has certainly changed in recent years given Russia's aggression in Ukraine and Chinese aggression in South Asia. However, last week, a member of the Russian parliament was in Delhi speaking at a business forum. Here, he said that the Brics countries are working on a single currency that could be used for trade settlements.
According to Sputnik News, this is what he said.
In the wake of the Ukraine war, we're seeing more and more countries opt to settle trade in currency swaps. Brazil and China agreed to conduct all future trade transactions using their own currencies. We know that India has allowed rupee-ruble payments with Russia. And reports are also emerging that China's yuan has already replaced the dollar as the most traded currency in Russia.
No! God, please, no! No! No!
BRICS countries, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, are working to create their new currency. This, of course, is no surprise to those of you who have been following the recent news on the stability of the current global reserve currency, as well as the expected decline of its value. This time around, the lead are expected to take India and Russia. India and Russia should take the lead in forming a financial relationship to ultimately create a new common currency, said State Duma Deputy Chairman Alexander Babakov during St. Petersburg International Economic Forum. It has not been announced what currency will become the common denominator. It seems that a decision on whether it will be the Chinese yuan, Russian ruble, Indian rupee, or something else has not been made. But with that said, what is clear at this time is that it will be a central bank digital currency. Our goal should be focused on writing new rules in the financial sphere in order to enable the use of an already common currency. It doesn't matter whether it is a digital ruble, a digital rupee, or a digital yuan or something else. But this currency must follow the laws of our respective nations, said Babakov. Nations such as Japan, Brazil, and India have been pro-CBDC. China is also a leader in the CBDC race. It has been advancing its CBDC or digital yuan pilot programs for the past couple of years. What's really important to understand here, and I just really want to emphasize it, is that this will pose a tremendous obstacle to the United States dollar having an opportunity, even an opportunity to maintain its value in the long run. Because the currency that Brics is planning to create will be backed by gold or other rare earth elements. It will have tangible value, unlike the United States dollar that is fully backed by the US government and not pegged to any asset of value.
Why are you running? Why are you?
Welcome, family, to another edition of Stranger Thinking Media. This is Yesha Yahoo. We're here today to bring you the story concerning the death of the dollar. Babylon Has Fallen, Part 1. And I saw another angel fly in the midst of heaven, having the everlasting gospel to preach unto them that dwell on the earth, and to every nation and kindred and tongue and people, saying with a loud voice, Fear God and give glory to him, for the hour of his judgment is come, and worship him that made heaven and earth and the sea and the fountains of waters. And there followed another angel saying, Babylon is fallen, that great city, because she made all nations drink of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. So basically, what we're seeing here is that the rest of the world is basically getting together and saying we're tired of the United States sanctioning us. And if for those of you who don't understand what a sanction is, since the Bretton Woods Agreement after World War II, all currencies of the world have been pegged to the U.S. dollar, and the system was put in place. And today we call it the SWIFT system. That means everybody's money goes through U.S. banks. So if the United States does not like what you're doing, they basically lock you out of your money. It's your money, but the United States won't let you get to it. And so the United States has been using that tactic quite often. And sometimes, sometimes it's better to just sit down at the table and talk with people. Sanctions hurt the poorest of the poor in these countries. And, after a while, if you do it enough, it's like taking too much antibiotics. Eventually, resistance is built up to where that antibiotic doesn't work anymore. And so sanctions are not quite working the way the United States is used to it working. So these other countries are banding together and forming their own financial systems. And so what we should expect if all these countries start moving away from the dollar is all the dollars that are sitting out there in the world, trillions of them, are going to start flooding back to the United States. And what that could mean for us is hyperinflation. We've seen that movie before, but everybody stay vigilant. We're in unprecedented times. These are choppy waters we haven't been in before, at least not this generation. So we'll see how it all turns out in the end. And after these things, I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen, and has become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird. For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. Wow. I never thought I'd live to see these days. But yes, it looks like the US dollar is seeing better times. And with that, I'll say farewell, family. I love you all so much. Thank you so much for continually supporting my content. If you did enjoy this video, hit the thumbs up button, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell, and share this with your friends and family. I'm sure they'd find it interesting as well. I'm very excited to continue this journey with you. I thank you all for bringing certain stories to my attention and for continually keeping me updated with certain events around the world. I very much appreciate you all. Shout out to the channel members. You keep me going. May everybody have a beautiful and blessed day who's in the body of Messiah, Yahusha HaMashiach, Jesus the Christ of Nazareth. And I'll see you on the next video. Shalom.